What is up, crazy fam? Guys, listen up. It's a new day, it's a new build, and I'm super excited to break this down. We're gonna go over a full mod build. You can use it on Apocalypse, destroy bosses. The ad clear is absolutely amazing, and above all, it's just tons of fun to use. I just wanted to put together a build where I could spam mods and see huge explosions and huge numbers. At the end of the day, having fun is what it's all about. And on top of that, I had zero issues on Apocalypse with this setup. So let's break this build down. Let's start with the classes. Obviously, when we're talking about mods, we're going to be maining the Archon archetype. Tempest automatically generates 3 mod power per second. Casting a mod increases all mod generation by 100%, which is huge. And we also have Amplify, increases mod damage by 50% and grants 10% mod critical chance. For the skill, I'm going to be using Chaos Gate, 25% increased mod generation. We're going to be combining this with the Summoner class. And the reason you want to do that is because every time you have a summon up, your skill damage and your mod damage will be increased by 35%, and that's precisely what we're looking for. Not only are we going to have a high mod damage with this overall build, but we're also going to be running heavy armor, which is going to increase our survivability by a lot. We're going to be running the Mark 1 armor, as you guys can see right here, and for the relic, we're going to be using the Ruined Heart. This is very important for this setup in order to be able to keep your mod up pretty much at all times. It will increase your health regeneration by 5, and it will generate 500 mod power over 10 seconds for both weapons, and that's what's really important. For the fragments, we're going to be using some mythic ones, 10% mod damage, 10% elemental damage, and minus 10% mod cost. Now let's talk about the weapons, and this is where the fun begins. We're going to be using the STARKILLER at plus 10. So this shoots a gravity core, which draws in the objects, and then in 5 seconds, it explodes and deals massive damage. First of all, the animation of this one looks absolutely beautiful. It sounds great, and that's what really made me want to create a mod build that would make this viable. For the mutator, we're going to be using feedback, and for our second weapon, guys, we're going to be using Starshot with Harmonizer to increase our mod damage by 20%. Obviously, Starshot comes with Big Bang, which does massive crit damage. When both of the explosions deal critical damage, you can do over 10,000 per shot. So if you get crit damage from both of the weapons, we're looking at around 17,000 damage. And a lot of the times you will see just huge chunks gone from the boss HP, which is really fun to watch. For the jewelry, we are going to be rocking Bright Steel Ring. This will give us the ability to have the fastest roll in the game, even though we're running heavy armor. And for me personally, in most of my builds, I would say 90% of the builds, I use this ring just because I can move around freely very fast. And on top of that, I get a lot of survivability. For the second ring, we're going to be using Burden of the Gambler, since we're not focused on weak spot damage with our mod explosions and just massive damage numbers in general. This really works well with the build in combination with the probability cord to increase our crit damage by 30%. Another thing I want to mention is that sometimes I do swap out one of the damage rings for the bisected ring, which gives us infinite stamina, and in combination with the Bright Steel Ring, it's very powerful. You pretty much roll around non-stop, and it's very effective, especially if I'm rushing through zones, and it can be very helpful in boss fights. And this next one right here, which is Burden of the Follower, is extremely important to put this build together. And finally, for the amulet, guys, I'm going to be using Ankh of Power. Grants 15% increase to all damage. Consuming a relic doubles the bonus for 15 seconds. And since we are going to be consuming the relic both for our heals and some mod energy, this is a perfect combination. We have the traits right here. We have Fortify. We have the Medic archetype trait to increase healing by 50%. I like to run Kinship with this build, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. We have Vigor and Spirit both maxed out. Obviously, Siphoner at level 10 to get some healing as we're doing damage. And finally, Rugged at level 9. Now, once again, traits are one of those things that you can experiment with. If you feel like there are some traits that benefit your playstyle a bit better, you should 100% go for it. Never hesitate to experiment with these things. I feel like that's what makes Remnant 2 really fun. Another thing that I quickly want to mention is if you're going through worlds and you just want to clear ads at that point, you're not focused on bosses or anything like that, what you could do, you could switch out Starshot for something like Rupture Cannon, for example, and you can use some cool mods to make the ad clear even better, such as, for example, Firestorm is always powerful when we're talking about ad clear, especially with a build that is focused on mod damage. You combine it with the Harmonizer mutator and you're good to go. So as mentioned, if you're not fighting bosses, you can 100% experiment with the second weapon slot. So yeah, guys, if you're looking for a mod build that does a lot of damage, where you can pretty much spam the mods, which is good for ad clear, it also destroys elites, and it's very good at killing bosses. It will take you time to get used to the timing of the mods and everything like that, but once you do master it, you will have a blast. That's about it, guys. I feel like this build is 100% worth your time. Get these items, get these weapons, put everything together, and just enjoy the big explosions. If you guys did enjoy the video, and only if you did, slap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, ladies and gents, never forget to share that positive energy all around. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh! Oh, he got no scoped!